Hey, Warrior Saints. Glad to have you beautiful people with us as we continue our conversation from yesterday.
Once you get out there and start doing it, you've got to then, I know you mentioned earlier, clear everything out of your way and block all of that kind of stuff. Are there practical tips about how to actually do that?
Yeah, totally. Great question. Creating the space to uh, be able to focus on what you have been called to focus on, you must say what I believe to be the second most powerful word in the English, in any language, but in the English language. Um, the first most powerful being Lord have mercy. But after that, man, the most powerful words in the English language are no, is no. And it requires that we say no to all of the requests that we get for our time.
Mm.
We all know how many things are pulling at us and on our time. I mean, as we mentioned, I think we mentioned it last week. You and I, we've got a beautiful team around us, both in our pastoral staff and also with our clergy team and so on. But dude, we're fighting hard, just two of us to deal with 1,000 people. I mean,
Mhm.
there's a request that comes into your inbox and my inbox every 4 minutes, right? Or 4 seconds, it feels like. And, in order to serve them, things have to go.
Mm.
Things have to go out of our life because there's just not enough time in the day to do it. Even more so, sometimes their requests have to go because our main focus is to teach the gospel, right?
Mm.
And so you can only do so much, so many things, and you have to say no. Let me say it like this. I'm probably going to get the numbers wrong. You guys use your calculators and do the math, but you remember we did this. So there are, I forgot the exact number, but 8,460 hours in a year, something like that, around 8,000 hours in a year. And if you and I were to do the following, sleep 5 hours a day, and that's it, which we obviously know is not enough sleep. It's not adequate. But if that was, so we slept those 5 hours, 7 days a week. And the only work that we did was our Sunday duties
Mhm.
for 3 hours. So sleeping 5 hours a day for a week, 3 hours of work a week, and that's all we did. That would leave 6,900 hours and change in the year. With our 1,000 people, that means we have 7 hours, less than 7 hours a year to give to people, right? Now, you can see the absurdity of the ability to try to handle that. But then if you really think about it, we certainly do more than 3 hours of work a week, right? That doesn't include real sleep. It doesn't include meals. It doesn't include exercise. It doesn't include your wife, your children.
Yep.
It doesn't include lunches, dinners, baptisms, weddings, funerals. It doesn't include counseling. It doesn't include any of it. So you can see it's like an absurd thing in order for us to take care of everybody. And we do our best, and God help us. All of that rambling leads to this point. If I'm going to be efficacious in my teaching of the gospel of Jesus Christ, I cannot do it all.
Right.
And in order to not do it all means, maybe I got to say no.
And I think a big part of saying no then becomes a second point that works into that. You have to reframe how you look at things. Because if you're reframing how you look at things so that you are now focusing in on what your one thing is, you've now changed your approach, and that becomes a new approach, which allows you to get through that pressure and allows you to start feeling like you have some more control and more abilities to do things.
All right. So, I mean, what do you mean by that? I think I like that idea of reframing, the way we look at it. How does reframing your outlook on a situation or on the world at large help alleviate that pressure that we're even talking about?
I don't get sucked into your pressure. I don't allow your urgency, your needs, your desire to have something be um, the most important thing. I don't let that become my most important thing. I don't let you suck me into that. I don't let you adjust. My focus is this. And with my focus being this, part of saying no to everything else means and might mean that I have to say no, like, I'm sorry, I am not going to get to that right now. I'll get to that when I'm able to get to that. I'm not going to focus on what you want me to focus on right in this moment just because you're standing in front of me screaming at me. You need to focus on this, right? Like the phrase that I could do without in my life right now, you guys are all going to think I'm a terrible dad, is Baba, watch this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I literally had to say to my daughter yesterday, if you're going to say to me, Baba, watch this, then it cannot be the exact same thing that you just did 2 seconds before when you said, "Hey, Baba, watch this." But that's the phase of life that she's in, right? She's 4.5. She wants me to watch everything. She wants to know that I'm there. She wants to know that I'm present with her. She wants to know, but like every time she does something new, which is exactly the same thing that she did before, but she thinks it's the coolest thing ever. "Hey, Baba, watch this." Reframing how we look at it means that everyone else that is coming to us, bringing all of the stuff that they're bringing, and this happens in our world everywhere. This happens with the noise, with all the advertising, telling us that new shiny thing is going to revolutionize our lives, and therefore you need to get out there, buy it, and do it right now because your life is going to be changed by the product that they are selling you. We need to reframe how we look at that and reframe how we adjust. Otherwise, I would have a closet that was only filled with travel bags because I have a slight travel bag obsession.
That's good stuff. Great stuff, really. As far as I'm concerned, you should tell Eleanor, forget you. Tell her, come to Amo Obuna. I'll watch this. I'll watch it over and over. She's so cute. Yeah, I like, I mean, the reframe, you know, I think you capped it off. I don't know that we need to go much further into it, but I like it. Hey, Warrior Saints, thanks for joining us. To watch the next part of the episode, join us again tomorrow. And as always, keep walking on the way of the Warrior Saint.